Are your kids really safe and secure online? If this keeps you up at night, you're not alone. And with all the parental control tools out there, which one's the best? What's your strategy? On this episode of Tech from the Trenches, we boil it all down. No spin, no sales, no BS. Now let's get into it. While it may be a surprise to some of you, I wore this shirt today because this is maybe the ugliest shirt I own. So if you have an uglier shirt, please share a picture with us and maybe we'll get you a prize or something. We'll definitely recognize you. So in terms of keeping your children safe online, I did not grow up influenced by the internet at all. It didn't exist when I was a child. And today, the internet, games, and social media have a real impact on the development of our youth. This we all know. There are a lot of parental control tools out there, and they all do slightly different things, and there are a ton of reviews online to help you sift through them all. But be warned, there is no one tool that will do everything for you. Spoiler alert. But what I want to do today is give you a holistic set of objectives that apply not to specific tools, but what kinds of tools that will help you battle the threats that face our children. And more importantly, how to think about the tools we use and how we educate our children on the threats we face together. So safety and security. I always tend to be pessimistic when it comes to security because to provide effective security, you really have to be a pessimist and approach it from a worst case scenario. As parents, it's our number one responsibility to keep our kids safe and secure. To me, there is a fundamental difference, though, between the words safety and security. While these words are often used interchangeably, it is the objectives or intent behind the words where the differences really lie. And this is especially true in terms of our children's online activities and exposure. So let's start with safety. When we use the word safety, what we're really talking about is the subjective perception that we are free from harm. As parents, we want our kids not only to be safe, but also to feel safe. In terms of feeling safe online, we're really concerned with their well-being. Our concerns are more in terms of, are their behaviors and what they're being exposed to contributing to their emotional, educational, and social development? Or are their online experience detrimental to that development? So the focus is more on the impact on the children directly. For example, you won't let your 4-year-old watch Nightmare on Elm Street. Scary movie, because you don't want them to wake up with bad dreams. Now let's talk about security. When our kids do things that are insecure online, the impact of those things probably doesn't affect them directly, but more likely you as a parent. Kids by nature are innocent and more trusting as they should be. They take things at face value. And the younger they are, the truer this is. This concept is pretty straightforward for us parents. Security falls more into the category of behavior of the child exposing the whole or family to a higher level of risk for bad things to happen. For example, your child leaves the front door unlocked at night. That exposes the entire family to a higher risk of being burglarized. Now, while we all think the Hamburglar may be cute, we don't really want him rummaging around in our jewelry box. So what are the types of online threats our kids face? The threats they face fall into 4 major categories, and number 1 is online predators. Probably strikes the most fear into us as parents, and this is in the category of safety. According to a study by the DOJ, the largest majority of these encounters, 76%, begin in online chat. Number 2, cyberbullying, or online harassment, is on the rise over the last 20 years. We all know children can be brutally honest and sometimes incredibly cruel to each other. Most parents assume this isn't happening because your child is less likely to admit or discuss that they're being harassed. In fact, statistically, less than half of the victims tell any adult or parent. Also falling into the category of safety, harassment takes place over many online platforms, including text, social media, and email, making it more complex a threat to manage. Number 3, inappropriate content. Content that is not suited for children, such as pornography, extreme violence, and other content for which our children are ill-equipped to process. Another safety issue, this content sows confusion, fear, guilt, and shame in our children. It also results in the desensitization to demeaning and inappropriate behavior that likely contributes to further proliferation of other bad behaviors like cyberbullying and harassment. This content is being delivered everywhere online, including the web, text, social media, and email. This is a category that takes a lot of diligence to combat. And last but not least, identity theft. This one is for sure in the security category because of the intent to expose the financial assets of the family as a whole. While the exposure of our children to identity theft may have social implications for them, if someone impersonates them on social media, for example, they rarely feel the financial impact. Our kids are increasing targets for identity theft because of their innocence, as we discussed before, and are often solicited for their social security number via downloadable games, phishing emails, and file sharing applications. So what do you need to do? The big truth is that the types of mediums used to target our children online today are at least as complex and plentiful as the tools that target us adults, as our kids obviously need us to protect them. And putting my geek hat on, there's not one ring to rule them all, meaning the naked truth here is that no matter what the marketing folks tell you, there is not one tool you can set and forget to keep your kids safe online. Sorry. The good news is there are plenty of tools to assist you, provided you understand the threats as we discussed. The tools you need will vary based on your child's interest and age and should be viewed as things to help you get there. So what can we do and what can we use? The absolute given here is that you understand all your children's online activities. You cannot give them privacy and keep them safe and secure at the same time. As the adult, you must decide the appropriate balance for you and yours. And as adults, we all need to apply a liberal amount of the following. Number one, pessimism. You need to be pessimistic and assume the worst. That's your job. And if you're in la-la land, you're doing your children a disservice and likely exposing them through ignorance and inaction. Number two, diligence. While the tools can do some of the work, it's up to you to monitor and update the tools effectively. Understand the actual behaviors of each child and ensure you're covering them all. Number three, proactivity. Assume no one else, no teacher, and certainly not the government, is looking out for your child. You are the engine of your own success. Number four, mentorship. As your child grows, their understanding of the limitations placed on them in terms of the effect of the tools you employ will also grow. They're going to get smarter and learn what you do. When they question these limitations, use it as an opportunity to educate them on the risks and ask them to help you. And lastly, most importantly, joy. Liberal amounts of joy. There is nothing more rewarding than experiencing the growth of our children in all aspects of their lives. Make sure to periodically assess all their online activities and make sure, most importantly, they're getting enjoyment out of what they're doing. After all, if they're happy, you are too. Now, as for tool reviews, we didn't get into any specific tools. We're happy to look at specific tools and categories and provide our assessment. If you want more details on a tool, whether it's good for you or not, please comment below, explain what you're trying to achieve, and we'll be happy to give some guidance. That's all for this episode. We hope this was helpful for you. Subscribe, like, follow us below. Most importantly, comment. We really do want your opinion. See you all next time on Tech from the Trenches with Mike Harvey.